Welcome to the Coffee with Karen podcast, a weekly chat show discussing everything from holistic health to current affairs from a mental, physical, and spiritual perspective. Get your weekly cup of positivity with a sprinkling of woo-woo.
So welcome to the show. It's Thursday. This is going out live on Mintwave Radio. So just ask Alexa, or you can go to the website, KarenRobertsCoaching.com/Mintwave-radio. You can also see there a whole podcast network, which is called Raising Vibrations. You can download the app for Apple and Android. Feel free to subscribe or follow any of the podcasts that are in that network too. So today, this is episode 147. And today we have Jorge Vasquez. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, George. And he is a life coach, and we were going to be talking about the pivot. I'm your host, Karen Roberts, and we help coaches and therapists get their message heard to the people who need it. So welcome to the show, George.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here.
And if you'd like to share a life coach, it's a very broad subject. So if you'd like to share with the audience a little bit more about what it is you do.
Outstanding. Yeah, no problem. So I focus on a full balanced life. So balance between mind, body, and spirit. Because those are the only three areas that we actually have control over. Everything else is a variable that we have no control over. So the better our internal world is, the better our external world is going to be. So I help my clients achieve a balance in those three areas: mind, body, and spirit.
Love that. And what were you doing before and how did you get there? If you could share with the audience a little bit about your personal story.
Oh, absolutely. I grew up always being an entrepreneur, and I'm going to speed through a little bit of the backstory and get to that last learning experience, which is the one that the pivot actually happened. Like a huge pivot happened to this realm, to this practice, starting this practice. So in one way, shape, or form, I've always been a coach in either fitness, nutrition, mindset, spiritual growth, things like that, because of how I was brought up. But I've always been an entrepreneur as well. So every time you put yourself out there and things don't go according to plan, you always have a nice little fall. And you got to brush off your knees and get back up and keep going. So that happened to me enough times. And then at one point, I enlisted into the United States Marine Corps. My son was about 2 years old when I enlisted. So I was 26 I turned 27 during basic training. And fast forward, while I was doing my active duty service, I also started a catering service. So I also started in the service industry. That's where my degree prior to service was in. So following the nutritional aspect of it, worked that way, built a business all the way up to restaurants, to multiple different types of businesses with a business partner. And here's where everything changed. I got betrayed by my partner. At the same time, my wife at the time also betrayed me and was going through divorce, lost the house. Shortly after my business partner betrayed me, I lost all the businesses. I was sleeping in a broken down business. Because I was working so many hours and so many different areas of my life were, let's face it, crap. My health was going down. My fitness was non-existent. I was working. I wasn't paying attention to what my body needed. I wasn't paying attention to what my mind needed, what my spirit needed. Everything was going down. Everything was falling apart. At one point, I was sleeping in a broken down car just outside of the broken down business. And anybody and everybody that had invested at that point, they either didn't want to talk to me or they wanted to see me dead. And they vocalized it quite often. Every single day I woke up to messages, phone calls, text messages, emails, hate mail. Just, if I see you on the street, I'm going to kill you type deal. And all of the people that had invested, they were all either veterans or active duty. So they're very capable of doing these things. But too, I'm a veteran. I too was active duty, and my life was, I was brought up in martial arts since I was 3. This is the pivoting point. A junior Marine that was under my charge when I was active duty approached me and asked me for help. Not financial, like just coaching in many different areas of his life, in relationship, personal, family, business, career, things like that. And At first, I was like, who the hell am I to give you any type of guidance or direction? I just lost everything. My health is horrible. My nutritional habits are deplorable. And I lost absolutely everything, or so I thought. Until I realized that it's not about me. He's asking me for him. He's not asking me for me. So let me just see what I can do to help. And when I made that mental shift, unconsciously at the time, I made that mental shift from me to him. And I just started pouring out all the knowledge that I've had, that I've gained over the decades of studying and research and implementation and teaching and coaching. Because of all the traumas, I had a mental block. I couldn't see or remember any of this information that I was sharing with him. It was like there was a lock on the file cabinet in my brain. And then once he asked me the question, then I changed from me to him. Those locks came off, and I just started sifting through all the information, just handing him more information and more information. And that's when I had the aha moment. That's when I had the epiphany. I was like, I didn't lose everything. I lost the physical, lost the tangible, the things that didn't serve me. But I still have all the wisdom, all the intelligence, all the knowledge. I can rebuild myself. This isn't the end. This is just the start of a new chapter. And I didn't realize it until that moment. And then he hitched his trailer with mine, his little, so to speak. He started working with me and coming along with me in the things that I was doing. And another turning point was shortly after that. Shortly after I made that shift, an enemy of my enemy came up to me and offered me an opportunity to have a roof over my head, food in my belly, and a salary to help him fix his business. Some of the behind the scenes stuff, the headache stuff that most business owners don't want to deal with, all the paperwork and the financials and organization and things like that. And the enemy of my enemy became my friend.
Wow.
And they're from the same part of the world. So at that point, I didn't want to deal with anybody from where they were from until my perspective changed.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. And everything happens to me. Everybody, no matter where they're from, are capable of such kindness, such greatness, that you shouldn't have a predetermined disposition on anybody's race, gender, religious views, anything, nothing. Approach it with them giving you information. That's how you should do it. You put no emotion behind it. They're just giving you information, whatever they're saying, however they're saying it. And this is a lot of times the hardest part for people to do, is just take the information as information without putting any emotion behind it, especially if the person's coming at you a little aggressively. And it's going to trigger some of your own emotions for then you to retaliate, quote unquote, retaliate. And this is some of the things that I had to remember and work on. So once I had this point, then I started reaching back out to all those people that were sending me hate mail, hate message, stuff like that. I had to work on myself enough to remember and realize that I am worthy of everything that I want. I am capable. I had to increase those levels. I had to work on my mind. I had to work on my spirit, and I had to work on my fitness because I was really out of it. And by the time I got out of the Marine Corps, I was a disabled veteran, 90% disabled with mental and physical illnesses. A lot of people, they look at me, they don't see it, they don't realize it. It was because I put that much work into it that it's unnoticeable.
Right. Well, it just goes to show that the problem is that we focus on one thing. Like you say, you were obviously overworking. It's like we separate all these things up. And like you say, we are all human. It's everything, isn't it? The mental, the physical, the spiritual, it's all the things together if you want a happy life. Because if you're overdoing one thing and it's out of balance, then that's when things can go wrong.
Absolutely. And I was watching some people on social media, and they were talking about, oh, you don't need balance. You don't need balance this, because balance is not what's going to get you success. And I'm like, balance is going to get you success because wealth is not just about financial. Wealth is about every area of your life. It's not just those one area. And two, yes, if you're driven, you have ambition, you have drive, you have your own internal motivation, you're inspired, so you then motivate yourself to start taking action because of the inspiration. And you're driven to do whatever it is that your passion is to do, there still needs to be a moment where you stop, take a step back, and regroup. No matter, say you work 10 hours a day and you're hard charging for 10 hours. When those 10 hours are up, your body's exhausted, your mind is exhausted, and your spirits, depending on how well or not so well the day went, your spirits are also took a couple of hits. Now you need to recharge, you need to regroup. And that's the part of balance that a lot of people don't get. They think, oh, balance, I need to only work 4 hours here and then 4 hours here and then 4 hours of this. No, you need to have balance in your life. It's what it is for you to have balance in your life. Balance is determined by the individual, not by a general population. So balance to you may not be balanced to me. May
Absolutely.
Not be that's why people need a tailored program for them.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. There isn't a one size fits all. And that seems to be the thing. It's like we're being told that what we should be doing rather than, what works for you. So for you, so how long have you been doing this now? And who are you specifically serving?
So this practice, I started a little over 2 years ago. And I started first with the recertification process and setting down the foundation, website, and I'm a published author now. I'm also a published course creator, and I have my group coaching program. And it's a hybrid group coaching program. Sorry, a little tongue-tied. The first session every single month is a one-on-one session that typically lasts about an hour and a half. Because I don't really look at the time, and even if the buzzer goes off, I'm still speaking. But the first session every month is one-on-one programs to make sure, or one-on-one session to make sure that you have a program catered specifically to you. Once that program is catered to you, the following sessions, almost everybody has the same questions. Almost everybody has the same questions. So every other session that month is a group session with a very intimate amount, like 10 people. Not even a huge amount of people. It's still very intimate, very small classroom. And going through all of those questions, all those details, that you might have that same question, but he asked it just before you did. Case in point. And then, of course, there's a support system. There's a network. Everybody's holds each other accountable. There's fire teams within that group cell. So the system is very, very detailed in a sense. And my ideal client are men between the ages of 25 and 40, male entrepreneurs to be specific, because they put themselves out there and life hits them hard. But no one tells people, or tells men, that they're able to feel their emotions. They're always told, you're a guy, suck it up, keep charging forward, keep doing what you have to do. Don't worry about your emotions. Don't worry about your feelings. Guess what? We're human too. But we realize there's nowhere that we feel safe speaking about these things without judgment. The moment we start feeling something, vocalizing it to people, they tend to see us a different way. And that's not right. It's not fair. But life is never fair. You just need to find out what works for you. Find out where you feel safe, where you feel we have trust, where you can be vulnerable with them and they're not going to see you any differently than the awesome individual that you are.
Do you think things are changing with that? Obviously, since the madness of the last 3 years, I'm sure it's not going on anymore.
That's one madness is in the back burner. It's still existent. People are still aware of it, but it's definitely in the back burner. The newest stuff is they're leaning too much to one side. Feminism, masculine energy, femininity, all these things, they're going to extremes, and it doesn't have to be that way. And they're just making all those negative aspects of both so prominent that people are getting confused and not realizing that the fight starts with you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I reckon it comes from, or I hope, don't know, but I would hope that they try to do things to help one group of people, but like you say, it ends up going too far that way. And it's like, hang on a moment. I can't bring it back in.
Now you have unrealistic expectations because you went too far to the side.
Yeah. And then it's actually quite annoying. I find you're going too far now. Come
I
back.
find myself having coaching sessions in networking events that I go to just to meet other entrepreneurs, right? Men, women, young, old, to meet new people to mingle, because entrepreneurship is a very lonely road. Nobody in your family usually gets it. Nobody in your friendship circle usually gets it because they are just used to the 9-to-5 job and they're happy and content with a 9-to-5 job, and that's it. The entrepreneur is one that sees a brighter future, sees different things in the future. They're future minded, goal oriented usually. And
a different thing. But do you think most people, do you think the people that are, again, that's, I think, is just a safety net, isn't it? Sticking with the 9-to-5 because it is a guaranteed income. And yes, we know that being an entrepreneur is not easy in the beginning, and everybody has, I don't know about you, but I've never seen anybody go from A to B in a straight line. There's lots of things to learn. There's lots of pitfalls, like your story anyway. There's failures. You get, like you say, you get up, brush your knees off and get back up, because it's not what happens to you, it's what you do afterwards. You just get up and you keep trying and finding the right thing for you. So what would you say to anybody out there then, the guys that are maybe struggling, not wanting to open up, not wanting to, but they need help? What would you say to them?
See, that's where it gets tricky. They need to first realize that they need help. And that's the hardest part for most people that have been working so hard with that mindset, that they feel like they just need to put it in that little box, their emotions, and just keep trucking. And it gets to a point where eventually they're going to blow up on somebody or everybody. They don't know exactly where to go, what to do, even if they even need help. And that's the first thing, is like realizing, hey, look, are you having these symptoms? When dealing with people, are these things happening to you? It's because you haven't worked with your past traumas. Oh, what are past traumas? Oh, the events that you went through that you didn't work through. You just put them in that box because you were told, suck it up and move forward. They need to first realize.
Why do you think this, where do you think this comes from? Why do you think so many people struggle to actually ask for help?
Again, either they were raised a certain way. I know from a military background, it was always taught that way. Suck it up, keep pushing forward. That aspect of it. But they didn't then say, suck it up now, because there's a task at hand that you need to accomplish. Then feel it later. Then work through emotions. They never said that second part. They only ever said that first part. But then they tell you to go to the medic, and they tell you to go to the shrink and the psychiatrist, psychologist. They then tell you to seek help after years of them doing just this one aspect. If they would have said the other side of the coin at the same time, it would be better, at least for the military personnel, for every branch of service around the world. I can imagine it's roughly the same everywhere. Where, suck it up, we have an objective to accomplish, but then feel it.
Yeah.
Or
it's conditioning, isn't it? Yeah, our spirits are the same. Stiff upper lip.
Yep. Now
get on with it.
In the civilian side, let's say a person was brought up similarly, but they were like, there's got to be a better way, and they try to verbalize it with somebody and then get shut down by somebody and then get told, why do you feel like this? And they start calling you names, or they start telling you that you're a weak man because you're feeling these things, and XYZ. Society, guys and girls, if anybody is vulnerable to somebody and that somebody shuts them down, then they're going to be less likely to open up to anybody. And that's when the walls start going up, and they stand there with their shields and make sure nobody can get in, nobody can get to their emotions, because if I show my emotions, then I'm going to get told that I'm irrelevant, or I'm a weak man, or I'm inferior, things like that. They start being told these things, so then they start building up those walls. And it's told by both guys and girls. If you have friends, like if I have my boys and we're hanging out and they keep constantly shutting me down, I'm sorry, my boys lift me up, they don't put me down. You want to keep hanging around with me? You need to start changing your attitude. You need to start changing your mindset. I don't come to you doing this, so I don't expect it in return. Setting your boundaries with your people so they know how to navigate conversations with you.
So what can people do about that? If that's happened to them, where would they start?
They need to start by having a conversation with themselves, figuring out what is it that they really want, truly and deeply. Take out all the variables. Take out, you're by yourself. Think about you for once in your life. Think about you. Because a lot of times, guys, we're so worried about providing, protecting, and performing for others that we forget to provide, protect, and perform for ourselves. We can't put the oxygen mask on anybody else before we put the oxygen mask on ourselves. And a lot of times we're told to do just that. Help them first, then help yourself.
Well, it's got to start within. Again, it's society has labeled the work. If we do that, people think they're being selfish, and they use being selfish as a negative rather than, but yeah, you're right. No, it's got to start with you. So there's lots of contradictions, aren't there? And if you think of all the quotes, you can't give from an empty cup. But hang on a minute, you feel like you're being selfish if you want to take time out for you, a little bit of self-care. So there's lots of contradictions out there, isn't there? That's probably, like you said earlier, about people are confused.
Or half truths. Like they only say one side of the coin, one side of the story, but they don't say the other side. So I'm going to say a part of a quote, and I'm sure you're going to be like, oh, I know the other part of this quote. It was like, a jack of all trades, master of none. That's what everybody knows. That's the basic. Everybody knows jack of all trades, master of none, but they don't know the rest of that. That's only the first half. It's a jack of all trades, master of none, but better than a master of one. They don't ever say
there you go. No.
They only say the first half, and that's how society is across the board. They're trying to tell you just their perspective and share and if their perspective is negative, because they dealt with so much negativity and they're like, nope, barrier, wall, false expectations. Everybody believe it. Everybody believe it. Everybody believe it.
Absolutely. And everyone's different. I would always be told, do one thing. I've probably got a bit of ADHD, which I consider to be a superpower. I don't see it as a negative. Again,
you just need to learn to navigate through how you operate.
Yeah. So for me, actually doing different things, that's when I thrive. Yep. So yeah, for one person, doing one thing, focusing on one thing might be the right thing for them.
Correct.
I'd be bored as hell if I was just doing one. Sometimes I think maybe I should hone it in a little bit, but I enjoy the variety. And we have 6 human needs, and everybody's got different ones in a list of priority. So what works for you, go with it. And if that works for you, go with it. Is that not the problem? Everybody's judging others on just their perspective. Well, that's because that works for you. Whereas that person over there might be, I don't know, an introvert that wants to do just that's good for them. And there's nothing wrong in any of it. But isn't this the problem, that people are being judged by one design? Everything's got to be done like that. But everyone is different, and we should celebrate the differences. It's all good.
Absolutely. And it's like the education system, right? They put the generic structure for education, right? It's like, all right, everybody climb this tree, but you got fishes and seals and giraffes and donkeys and elephants, and there's only one monkey. Nobody's gonna be able to climb a tree over that monkey unless the monkey helps everybody up. Good luck with the elephant.
Yeah, sure. Everybody, and I suppose that's it, and that's why. So I like that it's more of a bespoke program for people, because there's never going to be one way.
There's so many different characteristic types as well, personality characteristics. I use Clifton Strengths personally. I don't work for them or get paid anything from them, but I've used it myself for over 10 years almost. And I use it for my clients as well, so they can know what their top 10 strengths are. Because you should be focusing on your 10 strengths. There's the top 5, the top 10, and then the rest 11 through 34. Focus on those while you're working a little bit on the other stuff, so everything increases. But your strengths is your superpower. All of those strengths, that's where you shine. That's where you should be spending most of your time. on those things.
Rather than wasting energy on the stuff that you may as well find somebody, outsource that side.
Correct. Trying to increase your mastery level in the other areas, but you're neglecting your strong side. So your strong side, they're not getting any better. They're staying the same. If you found out when you're 15 years old, your whole 34 strength set characteristics, and then you ignore the 10 and you work on the 11 through 34, by the time you're 25, your 10 are still going to be the same and all the other ones are going to be equal. But now everything is equal and you don't know what your superpower is anymore.
So what is that? I haven't heard of that, because there's lots of different sort of personality tests and
Absolutely.
you're that, you're analytical, you're this, you're that. There's so many different ones. So what is this style?
It's called Clifton Strengths by Gallup. So G-A-L-U-P. Clifton Strengths by Gallup. And
what are the different ones?
The full assessment, I believe, is only $50 US. So it's not terribly expensive. It's an investment, sure, but you're worth it. So you should do it. And I usually, all of my clients, I have it mandatory. That's one of the things that they get when they do coaching with me. I take it out of the fees that they give me for my coach. I take it and I pay Gallup for them so they can do it. Because it's that important to me to make sure that they understand where their superpowers are.
And then you can prep from there.
Correct. And
so rather than just guessing,
it helps me interact with them as well.
So we're talking about the pivot. So your pivot, that was from your story.
Yeah, the fall of 2019. I call it the fall of 2019.
The fall of 2019.
Everything came crashing down about May of 2019, when the pandemic was being talked about, but it wasn't critical yet. It got critical March 9th or 10th of 2020. That's when the lockdown happened. Everything shut down. Nobody's going anywhere.
Yes, for me, I had a bit of a upset. For me, it happened before lockdown. That's why when lockdown happened, it wasn't I'm like, ugh, what again?
Same, because I'd already lost. I was already on the street. I didn't have nothing. I was already donating plasma to pay for my phone bill and to have food to eat because nobody would hire me. I was literally had nothing, like nothing.
But then that in itself is inspiration to many, because again, the old sayings, this too shall pass, and it does.
Absolutely,
right?
It does.
So it doesn't matter where you're at this time.
Learn from the experience that you've just went through. There's always a silver lining. There's always something that you can learn from it.
So what was your biggest thing that you got from yours?
I needed balance in my life. My life went way out of balance, and that's when I had the epiphany. I was like, my relationship went down. Despite me, I'm a romantic. Despite me going out of my way midday and stuff to deliver flowers or poetry or food and spend time, I was still spending 20 to 21 hours working per day. Like I didn't have enough time. There wasn't enough time for the person that needed me at home. That's where I faulted. I didn't have balance. I didn't set my boundaries with my business partner, with the employees. I didn't set the boundaries. And it caused my significant other to make decisions that weren't morally appropriate. And I have zero tolerance for that. No matter how much, break up with me first before you do anything else. Don't try to do something to try to keep an awesome person next to you and do what you want. Make your cake and eat it too, type deal.
Yeah. But in hindsight, you've come out of it. You come out the other end, and there you go. So even when things look like they're completely collapsing around you, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. And that's what I try to share with everybody, no matter what situation you're going through. I have other stuff. Like I have tendonitis in both my shoulders. I have deteriorating disc syndrome in my spine in 3 different areas. I have mild PTSD, anxiety disorder, depression disorder, sleep apnea, insomnia. I have a list of issues that I navigate through on the daily. I'm constantly in pain, but I navigate through everything as holistically as possible. Because at that time, when the fall of 2019, I was abusing my medications. I don't ever want to fall down that road again. I mitigate things. I'm proactive with things, with every area of my life.
Do you think everything is solvable?
Yes. At least for our bodies, they're designed to heal itself. You just need the time, the focus, and the energy dedicated to it.
100%. And there you go. That goes back to what you were saying in the beginning about getting a balance, because if you're overworking, you're overstressed, your body's completely out of balance. If you want health, you've got to focus.
It's going to reflect with those people you care about at home. You have a spouse, you have kids, you have siblings, parents, if you live close to your family. I'm a very family-oriented person. I talk to my brothers on the daily. I talk to my mom on the daily. I text and message my dad as best as I can on the daily. But whatever variables that I have zero tolerance for, I make sure it's known. I have zero tolerance for that. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not going to deal with that. Now, I know that if my stress levels are high, I'm going to be talking to them differently than I normally would if I was relaxed, if I was calm.
Yeah, sure.
It's just
and
stressful.
it has a knock-on effect to the body as well, right?
Yeah,
because
it does. Your cortisol goes through the roof.
Yeah, I don't think people really get how much damage that cortisol does to the system. And like you say, the body can heal itself, but guess what? It needs rest and recuperation.
Yep.
And needs time to spend on going inwards, basically, spend on meditating, allowing the body the space to heal itself. So what is do you have a specific morning ritual? How do you break up your day then when you've come to find balance?
I have a morning ritual, an afternoon ritual, and an evening ritual. The evening ritual is geared toward, absolutely. The evening ritual is geared towards the shutting down process, because I have insomnia and sleep apnea. It takes me 2 hours to come off, because I'm very business minded and oriented. So I'm always thinking business. How can I improve something, create something, move the needle forward? It's constantly. I literally have to shut everything down, put everything away. I shower in candlelight. There's candlelight in my room. I have my favorite scents that I have anchored with positive memories. So every time I smell lavender or orange or lemongrass, I think of a positive moment, a funny moment that releases dopamine. And the dopamine is the relax, feel good hormone that your body releases, the chemical releases. So I have things that anchor positive things around me all the time. And when the lights go down, my mind now shifts into that positive, happy, good things are about to happen. And the shutdown sequence starts. And this is, of course, after I've had my last meal, my last solid meal, right? From the nutritional aspect of it, right? This is after I've had my last solid meal. I've had my last liquid meal. If it was an active workout day, my last liquid meal happens already. And then I start the wind down process. And I do a meditation, a relax, gratitude meditation. I pray, and then I lay down and I go to sleep. And I do have, because I have apnea, I have something that I put M3 tape over my mouth to keep my mouth from opening.
Wow.
It's just it has just enough adhesive to keep my lips together, where air can go out, but no air can come in. And it forces my nose to work and gain in strength, because your nose is actually designed to release those hormones. One side is cortisol, one side is dopamine. That's actually how
I hadn't heard that.
Correct. So when you do box breathing, there's a purpose, there's a reason. And I've been doing research on breath work for about 1.5 years now. And I'm working on another coaching international ICF coaching certification. I'm working on another one just to get my mastery level increase. And once I'm done getting that extra mastery level increase, I'm going to be doing breath work to get certified as a breath coach. So I've been already working on my strengths. I know that I need more knowledge. I know that this is going to help a lot of people that have the same or similar situations as me. This is going to help them in so many ways. And if I can provide it to them.
It's interesting. I mean, I'm hearing this a lot. I'm seeing a lot of people that are adding breath work to their I don't think it's explained enough, because people are thinking breath work, it brings up all sorts of because they don't know what it is.
They think Eastern, full on Eastern, and they don't know the reason to why. Like, they just built a culture around it. That's all that and because you say breath work, you're thinking Buddhist and yoga and Reiki and all of these things. No, the human body works this way. This is just how they explain it in their way, in their fashion. You break down the facts and what you believe in for your belief system, and you put them together. That's what you believe. Nobody else should be judging anybody else on their belief system. Everybody's belief system is slightly different.
It's funny that it's always seems to break down, come back into, it's always the simplest things work.
Yep.
Because people could think, what do I need breath? I breathe every day. Yeah, but you're not breathing properly. Let's get back to basics. And our bodies, we need to breathe, we need water. And what are the most common things, probably the most common reasons why people get ill? They're not breathing properly, they're not drinking enough water or clean enough water.
Yep.
And so that's two of the most basic things in life, isn't it?
Just get alkaline spring water in a glass jar. Avoid plastic as best as you can.
Again, just going back to the simple stuff.
Yep, back to eat fresher foods. If it's not freshly grown, it's frozen, not canned.
We've ruined things by trying to cheat. We've ruined things by trying to do things quicker and get stuff in.
Certain things that just shouldn't. And it's because we're doing all of these things, adding all these different chemicals and stuff. That's why our bodies have so many issues.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree.
The moment we started trying to cut corners and shorten timelines of things.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, we've gone too far one way, haven't we?
Yeah, too far one way.
Let's come back.
Yep.
Let's go back to basics.
Yeah, correct. Now everybody's talking about eat fresh, eat more greens. This is what we should have been doing. If you count the teeth that you have, most of your teeth are for eating vegetables, not for eating meats. Only the front teeth are for cutting and ripping. All the other ones are for grinding.
Oh, I'm going to debate you on that, man.
But the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need is better found in vegetables. Don't get me wrong. I love a good steak. I love my lobster and crab legs, and I'm a huge seafood guy. But knowing all the health stuff that I know, if you're not eating vegetables, find a supplement. Find a supplementation. Again, I'm not going to tell anybody to do what they don't want to do. However, here's the knowledge. Here's the information. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah. I think it all boils down to eating. You're right. I think the real danger,
you want to consume it,
is the processed food. You're right. It's going back to basics, getting back to whole cooked foods. You're going to be better off.
Now, there's different things about pulling the science out of the vegetables and stuff. When you get all those pills that are like 1,500 milligrams of XYZ things that you're consuming, and they put it into, instead of eating like 10 plates of food, it's just one little pill. We just got to make sure that pill, the ingredients in that pill is extract of root, of this, of that stuff. Make sure that little gel capsule is not the solid ones. It's the plant-based gel capsule that comes off. Make sure
it's so nutrition is obviously part of it. Excuse me, my voice is gone. Nutrition is part of it. Keeping fit, so you're back into fitness. So what's your routine there?
Let's go by. I did my evening routine. My morning routine is just the opposite. I do breath work that promotes controlled cortisol release with dopamine release. And I use a method that Tony Robbins uses a lot. He calls it priming. You're doing a physical activity, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, short, rapid intervals. As long as you're breathing from both nostrils, one's not clogged, right? Then you're getting both cortisol and dopamine release into the body. Doing the physical activity is increasing your levels of cortisol being released. But then right after doing like 30 pumps, you stop and you meditate on positive things, which releases more dopamine. So you're increasing your state of alertness without going into an anxiety or stressful state, flight or fight. And I do that for 5 to 10 minutes in the morning. I wake up, I morning meditate, morning prayer, I do my priming, I do my stretching, I do my fitness, my morning routine, depending on the days, depending on the routine, fitness routine. Then I do my triple S. I use the privy, shower, and shave. Shower, shave. Triple S.
So you've got your routine now. So how different do you feel since you have got your life back in balance?
Oh, fantastic. I feel a lot better than I did before. I was at 278 pounds. I'm now at 202. I've been at 202 for over a year, about a year and a half now. I've been at 202. So I've been maintained controlled weight. Because of my physical limitations, I can't, without certain expenses increasing, I can't get to the physical fitness style that I was at prior to enlisting, which is where I feel most comfortable. I feel happiest when I am more fit. Not just because I can do more things, but I'm happy with the way I look, with the way I feel, with the way I act, the way I operate in a more fit state. So I grew up doing martial arts and fitness all my life. So I feel more comfortable in the martial arts realm, being skinny and tough and fast. And
yeah, I can understand that. I come from the fitness industry, 25 years in. And I was talking about this earlier today on another podcast, actually, where I was the guest. But I really struggled because when I did give up the teaching, because I didn't have anywhere to be at a specific time, then I didn't go. So coming to sit on this chair to be an online coach did not help me because I had lost my accountability. So I would come up with the excuses, oh, well, I'm too busy, I can't go to the I've got too much to do, which would be the normal pattern, which I'd hear from my clients and think, what are you talking about? Why can't you make it for the 9:30 whatever class? And I found myself in that position, which was a truly humbling experience, really.
It happens to all of us. It happens to all of us in some way, shape, or form. Something happens where it's, oh, I can skip it today so I can do this. And then it becomes a norm that you're cutting your positive routine to handle something else that needs to get handled, when you should do your routine and handle it when you're done with your routine. Finish your routine, finish the process, finish what you need to stay balanced, then handle the problem. Now it's different. It's different if we're in a time of war, but we're not in a time of war right now, are we?
No, and we're not being chased by bears or anything. This is why it's just so funny that in this day and age that the majority of people are living under too much stress. They've got too much cortisol in their body, this fight, flight, freeze, and there are no bears. There's no saber-toothed tigers, and yet
they're either side.
Modern man.
So in my times growing up, and it happens like this in society, tough times breed strong, tough people. Soft times or good times breed soft people. My generation is I'm 38 now, right? So our generation is the last tough ones. This next generation, my son's generation, it's a time of peace. Without the right training, without the right guidance and mentorship, it's breeding weak men. And then weak men make hard times. So then it's hard times are going to breed, and it's a cycle. It happens like every 80 years or something like that. It goes in a cycle from tough times breed strong men. Soft times breeds soft people that make, and the cycle keeps going. Tough men.
Crazy, isn't it?
Right now, everything's hitting the roof. There's excursions and people fighting across the world in many different areas. There's people shaming masculinity, which is the men that we need, and it's the men that we're saying that they can't. You're doing this and you're a toxic man. So no, toxic is toxic. It doesn't matter if you're man, woman. Toxic is stop doing toxic things. period. Let the man be a man. Provide, protect, perform. That's it's wired in our natural beings of doing. Provide, protect, perform. It's natural for us to do. Just like nurture, nature, love, compassion is in a woman's nature to do those things. You can fight it all day long. We all, men and women, both have masculine and feminine energy. And
again, balance.
Yeah, balance. We're naturally inclined to go masculine because our bodies are built that way, and women are more naturally inclined to go feminism or feminine. It's natural. We'll have it in a business world. The businesswoman has to live in her masculine a little bit more so that people pay attention.
Yeah, but should they? Or actually, are they damaging themselves by taking on that role too much?
And here's where the debates are. So you can be masculine and not be a dick.
Yes.
I'm a very masculine man, but I'm not a dick. I'll be like, all right, why do you feel this? This is not normal. So in business, we need to do this. Do you understand? Yes, no. Take your emotion out of it. Emotion has no place when a business has to operate. This is a standard operating procedures of business. You can feel bad about it, but this is how it's going to go. Okay. You just have to know.
But do you think that is the issue? Is that people are getting confused? I feel, this is just personal opinion, I feel that people are getting confused. It's like some women think they have to take on the more masculine roles to succeed in the male dominated area, but
they don't.
No, because they don't.
Again, you just need to know when to turn on that masculine energy and when to switch. You need to know.
So really, we should be learning from the mistakes. Like you say, there is a cycle. And yeah, why have we not learned the lesson?
And it's literally, at least in martial arts, let me just backtrack a little bit. In martial arts, there's a point in traditional martial arts where there's a section of meditation that happens, not just on connecting with yourself, but also going through the techniques in your mind, putting yourself mentally through the war zone. But it's all in your mind. Your mind doesn't know what's right and what's wrong. It just creates the narrative for you, right? And now you're listening to the narrative in your head, which is why it's important to not only meditate on things that you have to do, the things that are necessary to stay that warrior's mind, but also meditate on the times of peace so that you can control your levels of cortisol and stay a happier person. Is a balance between those two, the yin and yang. In the evil side, there's a little bit of good, and in the good side, there's a little bit of evil. You just need to have that balance. And people misunderstand that balance all day long. You can be a woman in the world and still be a boss and not be a dick. People can still love you and you're the boss. And same thing as a man. Nobody cares how much the leader knows until they know how much the leader cares. Doesn't matter if they're a guy or a girl. Here's the job that needs to get done. Let's get it done. You guys did a great job. Let me reward you for a job well done. Boom. Build that camaraderie. The stuff is getting done. People are happier coming to work. They want to come to work more, which will yield better returns. Your ROI goes up. People overcomplicate things.
Yeah, that's very common.
And they only read half the book before they take action. Or half the standard operating procedures, not say the book, but they go through the chapters. They're just reading the chapters on the index. And they're like, okay, they read the 6 chapters and there's 12, but they read the first 6 on the index only and started charging. They didn't even pay attention to the fine print inside each chapter.
Yeah, you got to get the whole story, haven't you? Otherwise, you're not going to get the whole overview.
Correct.
Oh dear, one day we'll get it.
Yeah, and if you hit a roadblock, go back to the manual.
So, for the listeners out there, if they need help with any of the stuff that you're dealing with, how do they get hold of you?
Oh, they can reach me at my website, jvcoachingandconsulting.com.
All one word?
Yep, all one. JV Coaching and Consulting, not the ampersand, or not the and symbol, the word and. jvcoachingandconsulting.com. And through there, they can send me emails, or they can click the hyperlinks to my social media platforms, things like that. They can see what my program entails, all of those things. It briefly entails, obviously, for more information, make an appointment, right? But yes, jvcoachingandconsulting.com.
So what's for you next then, George?
I am filling up my coaching sessions. I have 2 coaching sessions, 2 time blocks, coaching time blocks, which is 20 people available. So I'm filling that up. Once I'm filling that up, I'm actually I'll be creating the framework for a men's retreat.
Oh, very nice. And where are you planning that? What's your thought process of where that's going to be?
It's going to be in Florida for starters. I'm hoping to launch the beta testing this fall for that. So all of the framework and infrastructure is going to be created and organized prior to the other coaches that are going to be involved, are going to be acquired prior to commitments made, and then the beta testing.
Fantastic. See, this is why I think retreats are great, because it is all about getting people out of their same environment, because that's when I think people see real change. That's why live events, I think, are so much more powerful. Look, we're blessed with the technology that we have. We wouldn't be having this conversation. You're in Florida, I'm in London, and it's incredible what we can do. However, I think people get so much more out of a live setting, and retreats even more so, because you're taken out of your home.
Yes. Absolutely.
Fully immerse into something. You're going to get so much more out of it. Yeah, good luck with that. I wish you all the best with that. Thank you for your time today. It's been an interesting conversation, and it's very in sync. We're all about a holistic approach to everything, the mental, physical, and spiritual. So yeah, thank you for your time. And to the listeners, as I will be back on Monday with a coffee with Karen. For any coaches out there, if you are looking to have your own show, not just be a guest, as we have taken over Mintwave radio station. If you'd like your own show, if you would like to host your own podcast channel, we will prepare your personally branded podcast channel as a way to grow your audience, get more clients. And also, if you need systems in place, if you do not have a process in place and tech overwhelms you, again, get in touch. We can set you up with your funnels, with all your automations, free up some time, so getting you balance. So get in touch, KarenRobertsCoaching.com/discovery, book a call. Once again, thanks for your time. I'll be back on Monday. Bye for now.
Coffee with Karen podcast, a weekly chat show discussing everything from holistic health to current affairs from a mental, physical, and spiritual perspective. Get your weekly cup of positivity with a sprinkling of woo-woo.